Okay, now this is going to get a little bit confusing, so try to stay with me here. Other than my YouTube account, I have a number of blogs, and on one of those blogs I deal with corruption, and I have evidence against the NHS across 5 hospitals and 5 GPs lying about drugs, falsifying medical notes, falsifying test results. I even have them admitting it on tape. Everything is proved. It's just there for those who need help, who are victims themselves. There's no charge. It is by far the most popular of my dozen blogs. I do one on computing and gaming because I have a computer science degree and I build my own computers. And a couple of years back I decided to buy this tablet. It is an Advent Vega Tegra Note tablet, made by EVGA, who normally do graphics cards. They changed the letters around to call it Vega, and it was badged Advent in the UK. The PC world were the only sellers of this tablet in the UK. I bought mine, and I'm going to plug this in to a live feed. Oh, I forgot I switched it off. You can see the battery symbols come up. This is 40. I bought it to work on my blogs, and the primary thing I needed on it was the swipe keyboard, which I had on Android Gingerbread on the phone, that I could use without mistakes, using just my thumb with the phone in one hand only as I'm walking around Sainsbury's shopping. I had this a few weeks when a married couple who have 2 daughters they've been promising the tablet every year for a couple of years thought it was very nice and would make a good present for their daughters. You should be able to see there's a little electric sign within the battery symbol to show that it's charging. Unfortunately, this currently plays up, and it's been back twice. However, it hasn't been back as much as these 2. One of these failed within a few hours, one of them failed within a couple of days. One was exchanged for another one in a box. The other one, because it was a bit late, I went off for repair. The one that was in the box that was exchanged was also faulty, so I had 4 of these that were faulty. 3 of them within a matter of days or hours even. They then got fixed, and eventually they went wrong again. Now basically one of these has been back about 4 times, one of them's been back about 3 times, and that one's been back twice. And my one's performed a lot better. Now, one of the things they do, which carried on happening, is the battery has failed. Ignore that, it's picking up my Wi-Fi and my emails. So when it went back, they had the battery changed. Now let's switch these around and do this a different way. Now, on switch is there. Now, just like I did with that one, I would hold it down, and normally within 2 or 3 seconds you would get the Tegra Note come up, and then a little circle going round as it booted to the desktop, and I'm holding that down and there's nothing. Now they failed out of warranty. I'm just going to plug this in so that as I'm talking you'll see that it won't come on. The sockets aren't the greatest either. Now, angry about this, and although being 2 months over the warranty, and as these have been back so many times, and the married couple I know bought these under my advice, I took them back to see if I could get them repaired again. I know a chap in the store, he got an Asus memo pad the same time I got these, and I bumped into him in the store and told him the trouble I'd had with these, and he simply couldn't believe it. He was gobsmacked. Now, I went back to the store with 2 of these over the warranty period, and because PC World's headquarters, or wherever they are, it wasn't know-how, said take them back to the store. They grumbled in the store and said we can't book these in for repair because they're out of warranty and the computer won't accept it. I don't think he believed me when I told him I was told to bring them in the store, so I showed him the email. He didn't recognise the phone number on it and didn't know what it was, so he rang it. He passed the phone to me. I was given a couple of reference numbers. I've spoken about this on post before, and eventually I was paid money back. After I'd got the money, and the married couple didn't think I'd get it and were surprised, I gave them their half of the money because I got money back for 2 of mine, because I can't really bloody type on this one. I was then told she thinks there's something wrong with the 3rd one, because the youngest daughter never has this far away from her, and yet for a few days she hadn't seen her with it. So I said, well, ask her. I said, and if there's a problem, I'll sort that out too. They've already sorted out these 2. So there was 2 problems. One is, once again, the battery's failed, or the motherboard has. And also there was this curious bubble where it looks like the liquid crystal has leaked from the display. Remember, this is built by EVGA and solely distributed in the UK via PC World with their Advent logo on. I did think HP were going to do one, and I was going to buy theirs, but then it turned out they weren't going to do them in the UK, which is probably why they had an agreement to do them through PC World, so HP probably wasn't allowed to do it. It was probably exclusive to PC World. Now, I contacted PC World and I told them about the 3rd one. Now, a couple of times when things went back, they couldn't find one of the receipts, but because they found one, they just went, oh, we'll just book it in on this one, which I thought was a very peculiar thing to do. Because I thought, well, you know, if suddenly I come in with the other, everything's going to get a bit complicated, especially if you mark down the serial numbers and they don't match up to the receipts you're using. So they emailed me back and they said they needed the receipt for the 3rd one. Now, I'd already been down to the store and was given 2 reference numbers, which I presume were for 2 tablets. And as they're PC World and they're supposed to be good with computers, you'd think they'd be able to find the details of the purchases on their database. But they couldn't. So I had one of my usual blast-offs in an email at them, being incompetent. And I told them, well, I tell you what, why don't I film all 3 of them and put them on my YouTube account? 2 days after I sent that, an Easter Monday morning around 10-11 AM, while I'm cycling through Enfield Crematorium, the phone goes, and a lady called Jackie, who when chatting I told her about my disability of fibromyalgia. She told, and well, I've also got a right knee problem and a high blood pressure thing going on. She told me she had MS, multiple sclerosis. And I said how frustrating it is that my memory doesn't work at times, it's terrible. She said she knew how I felt. Now she then said, while we was on the phone, oh, I found the other receipt. You bought one a couple of weeks after you bought 2 for £130. And I said, well, no, that's not right. I bought one first, using a Visa card, and then I went in with cash to buy the other two. Right? I didn't pay £130 for any of these three. Now, I will tell you what I did pay. Now, as I say, my memory is bad. These were originally 180, but when I went in, these were 160. When I went to a couple of weeks later, I saw them. I went over and looked at the demo model before I grabbed the salesman, and then when I looked underneath, I thought I was looking at the wrong tablet because they were priced at $99.99. And the chap come over and he said, "Oh, you want those ones?" I went, "No, not that one, that's only $99.99. I said, "The one I bought was 160 quid. And he said, "Oh no, we put them down." So now, bearing in mind, remember this, because I have witnesses to this. So my cash that I had on me, that was given to me by another party, I then managed to buy 2 tablets with a huge amount of change. They didn't think they'd give me enough money to get cases if we're going to get cases at a later date. So I then went over and said, "Those 2 cases," and I bought cases with them. So when I went back and met them, I had a bit of a surprise in store. I gave them the cases and the tablets, and they were surprised, and she thought she'd get the cases thrown in, and I said no. As a joke, I said, "Well, as I've been down there," I said, "can I keep the odd change?" And they said, "Oh yeah, of course." And I pulled £130 out of my pocket, whatever it was, and said, "Oh, this is good." Started counting for the £20 notes, or make 130 quid every time I go shopping. They knew I had no cash on me at the time. Well, I looked up to see both their jaws on the floor, and they'd stopped whatever they were doing and were just sort of looking at me counting out this money, wondering what in the hell was going on. I then threw the money on the counter in front of them, and I said, "Well, you're not going to believe this, but it's your lucky day." I said, "Because when I went in there, they'd put them down by £60 each." And they were simply stunned. And I said, "Well," and they said, "Oh, but you paid £160 for yours." And I said, "Oh, well, when I bought them, and I pointed out the difference in money, they found the other receipt and see what I paid, and then said, 'Oh, we owe you £50. And £50 of the 160 was paid back. So even though these were £100 each, it still turned out I paid 110 for this one. But the lady on the phone said that she'd found a receipt where I paid 130 for one. Now I'll go through it again. 160, 99.99, 99.99. No £130. And this one was bought first, those 2 after, not the other way round. NHS tend to do this a little bit. They get a bit footloose and fancy free with the medical notes when they think you might find out they're in trouble, and they've been sodding you about and deliberately not diagnosing you, knowing damn well what you had anyway. You know, because I diagnosed my fibromyalgia and then had to manipulate them into sending me to a specialist where he confirmed my diagnosis. Guy's Hospital, that's all been covered. Now, the lady said to me on the phone, she said, "I've got the receipt here where you purchased 2. I just need the receipt number," before she found it, "for the one that you bought." And I said, "Well, that one was paid for by Visa." I said, "So what you're saying is you've got the details of the 2 I bought together cash. What you're missing is the one I bought on its own." And she said, "Yes." So I said, "Well, I can print out my statement for that day and show you that I bought the tablet." And she said, "Oh yes, that would be good." She said, "But if you go down to the store, they'll give you the receipts." This has been plugged in for a while, so let's hold it down and see what happens. I've been charged with the task of getting photographs and data off of this one. Hold it down, hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, Nothing happening. Keep holding it down. Still nothing happening. Listen carefully. And I've let it go. It doesn't work. I shall now take that off and go round and back to the beginning, plug it back into that one, just to show you there's no trickery going on here. There's certainly no trickery going on here, as you'll find out in a minute. The case is not, the question of this is not the fact that they're faulty. The question is something else, and I will get to in a moment. So the lady said, well, if you go down to the store, they'll be able to pull up the receipts. Anyone that's been on my corruption blog knows that I've got thousands of documents and probably well over 100 gigabyte of data, because I secretly record everything and have done for years. And no matter how bad I got them on a recording, I didn't want to tell them at the time that I had them to get whatever it was I wanted. I just carried on going, with them none the wiser that I was mounting up all this evidence. Police, NHS, DWP, local councils, and even different local councils, 4 local councils, bailiffs, debt collectors, courts, judges, anything like that. And I've also done it with Argus. Argus are doing what I'm about to tell you is going on here. So I'll be a Q. I don't know about Comet, and then they're gone. I never really had much trouble with Comet, apart from them trying to sell me a very expensive overpriced HDMI cable for £100 for my Panasonic BD30 Blu-ray player that got stolen along with a £4,500 bike. And then I told that they only got a couple £100 for it, but that's all on my blog, all the invoices, details, emails, proof is there. So I said, well, I'll go back tomorrow and I'll get the receipt. So I went into the store in Enfield, Stoke Mandeville Park, Business Park I think it's called, and I went back to the husband of the couple I bought the other 2 for, and I pulled out the receipts and I told him what had happened. I said, I don't know what's going on, there's something weird. I said, I haven't figured it out just yet. I then looked at the receipts and I went, oh fuck, and he went, what? And I went, well, look at this. On the receipt, it said I paid £129.99 for one, and on another one, it said I paid £179.99. I never paid either of those figures for any of those 3 tablets. Now, immediately, I thought, okay, they're altering their sales records, and they're up to something. And I immediately thought this must be some scam to pay less tax in the UK. But that didn't make any sense, because they'd priced the tablets dearer. They said they got more money than they actually had. So I thought, well, it can't be that. So what the hell's going on? They're certainly up to something. All these people are always up to something. I just have to keep trying to get the money back on the 3rd one, see what happens. I sent the details and the numbers to PC World. I then got asked to take the 3rd tablet in so that they can see the fault. Now, they're not experts in there. Right? The people that fix these things aren't experts. I mean, they've gone wrong several times, each one. They proved that. I'm always telling people they don't make mistakes, and people come to me and say, I sent this off to be fixed, it's been away for 2 weeks, I've come back and it's still the same, or it's worse than it was when I gave it to them. And that's the know-how team, not the team in the store. They don't fix things. I don't need to go in the store to prove that it doesn't work. Also, added to this, I'd just been to the bloody store, and I had a go at them and said, why didn't the woman on the phone, Jackie, because I found out her name, tell me that I'd have to take the 3rd tablet in? I told you, you know damn well I've got a disability that causes a lot of pains in different parts of my body, and I have short-term memory failure. All part and parcel of this horrible condition. It doesn't look like I've got one when you meet me, That's why it's called the invisible disease. But trust me, it reminds you every minute of every day that it's there. Sometimes in pretty horrible ways. So I had a go at them and told them again I was going to put a video of all three of them on YouTube. While out today, trying to film wildlife, because I have a blog on British wildlife, I have a blog on exotic wildlife, I have a blog on orchids, I have a blog on films, I have one on music, I have one on astronomy and astrophysics, because I'm quite into that. And despite the fact there are 12 subjects, I don't cover all the ones I'm into. It's hard enough with the amount I've got at the moment. So I'm out trying to chase down and catalogue, photograph and film wildlife when the phone rings and a guy from PC World phones up. But bearing in mind I've just sent him the 2 receipts. They wanted one, I got both the receipts on a printout just to be on the safe side, and when I sent them to them with the numbers I told them this. The bloke said, "You haven't given us the receipt." I said, "What are you talking about? The lady asked for one, I gave you both of them." Now here's where it gets confusing. I will remind you, I paid 160 for that, although I got £50 back later. I paid 100 and 100 for those, 100, 200, 310 in the end, 360 originally. The receipt says I paid £180 for one and £130 for the other. The man then tells me, no, we need the 3rd receipt. And I said, 3rd receipt? I said, what do you mean? There isn't a 3rd receipt. And he said, well, there's 3 items. And I said, oh my God, how many times have I got to tell you people, I bought 2 together. 1 receipt, 2 tablets. I wouldn't buy 3 tablets for myself, would I now? Then it gets interesting. According to this chap, and according to their computer, I never bought a 3rd tablet. They absolutely insist that I only bought 2. And they're not going to give me the money back on the 3rd because there isn't one. I then raised my voice and started shouting. I wish I'd recorded it, because I called him a lot of names. He kept going on about the receipt number they need. I kept telling him he's already got them. I then said, look, I've got printouts of the 2 receipts. I've obviously missed the fact that one of them says, they both say, I only bought 1 tablet. Couldn't think of it. I was supposed to prepare those and have those ready so I could flash them on the screen. There they are over there, I see them. So according to them, I only bought 1 tablet. And I said, well, hang on. I said, because somebody called Jackie phoned me up the other day. She could only find that I bought 2 tablets, and they were 2 tablets I bought the same day at the same time. She told me that I only needed the receipt where I bought the single tablet. And the one that she'd found on the system, she said I paid £130 for. Now, according to them, and this idiot, as I called him on the phone, he then insisted that there was no woman that found these 2 purchasers, and that each of the purchasers were the ones he was on about. In fact, the funny thing is, I'm not even sure they've given me receipts. Well, anyway, these are the 2 receipts they gave me. That one says £129.99, purchased on the 27th of December. Right, now this is the one the woman said I bought singly. Yes, I was right, they had made a mistake. This was the one they insisted that I bought singly. Right, this was the 27th. No, that's impossible. That date's not even right. If that date was right, the 27th of December 2013, they would never have got them as Christmas presents. And they did. So these aren't purchasing receipts, although the receipt number's on there. These are something else. So they've not given me what I've asked for. These are the dates, well, these are the dates they went back in for the repair. 2 days, 1 day after Boxing Day, and I'm back in the store with one. And this is the one. So no, this is the one that I would have bought singly. This was the 1st of December. See, now they've confused me even more. But anyway. So they haven't given me the correct receipt. So I don't know what I've given him. But that one says I paid $179.99 and $129.99. I never paid either of those figures for any of those 3 tablets. And like I said, they say I only purchased 2 tablets, and you can see 3. I didn't realise after I told him, but I tell you what, stuff your money, you're a bloody idiot, you keep repeating yourself, I keep telling you, there's only 2 receipts, and I purchased 2 at the same time. Here are the 3 that they insist I don't own, and never bought, or one of them anyway. And after some digging around, because they haven't been together since I bought them, there are the 3 boxes, each one with a serial number, 05213, then 4 zeros, 4778, 05213, 4 zeros, 1408, 0521, 3 zeros, 7861. And these are the 3 tablets. And that one says Advent on it. And when I said to him on the phone, while we were now rowing, and I'm shouting at him now, because I just can't deal with idiots and dingbats that keep repeating themselves. And he's sounding like a previous doctor who warned he was going to kick me off if I recorded our consultations, and he had a complaint about me because he said what I did was illegal, and I said, well, no, it's not. Phone up your solicitor. And now I'm quite willing to wait in the waiting room, and then you can hand me the phone and he'll tell me it's illegal, but it's not. I said, and shut up. I said, because we've been at this for half an hour and you just keep saying the same thing, and I'm getting fed up with telling you. Right, don't sit there saying it, prove it. You know, you're a doctor, you've got plenty of money, you're a father and son practice, Dr. Kumar's they were, of Willow House Surgery. You'll have a solicitor, pick up the family solicitor on the phone. I said, and have them tell me. I said, but you can't, you won't be able to. I said, because it's not illegal. I said, you just don't like it because you're up to no good, because the NHS tell you to do this, that. I've seen it before lots and lots of times, you're one in the long line. So shut up. So it was like dealing with him on that day. This guy just kept repeating the same thing and insisted I didn't have to. So I said, well, how are you going to explain that I've got 3 Advent Vega Tegra Note tablets and 3 serial numbers? His answer? We could have bought that one from somewhere else. Yes, I said. Another bloody PC World branch, because you're the only ones that sell them, and I bought them when they were launched. I said, I'll tell you what, shove the money. I was going to do this anyway, no matter what you did. I will film all 3 tablets with their boxes and their serial numbers,